Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Monday, July 26th. And what a weekend of sports. And I feel like the last time we talked, like everything in the world has happened since then.
Yeah, man. I mean, we'll get into it. I'm not going to get into it now.
Well, we obviously have a lot of big things to cover. Big news out of college football with OU and Texas officially moving to the SEC. We'll get to that. Team USA stinks. They lost to France, which we'll get into that. It's not as bad of a loss as it seems, but it's pretty bad. And then, all right, how you doing, Tom?
I'm all right, man. I mean, I'm just trying to process everything that's happened this weekend with the Olympics and trying to figure out why our basketball team sucks.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to find an answer to that anytime soon. So I wouldn't get your hopes up. All right, for our trivia today, or you know what we'll do today in sports history. In 1933, Joe DiMaggio ends his 61-game hitting streak in the Pacific Coast League. So he must have had 2 hitting streaks. That's awesome.
Yes,
all right. So here's trivia. With their loss to France, the USA lost their first Olympic Games since 2004. During those games, the USA lost 3 times. Name one of the teams they lost to.
Go with Australia just because I know they actually have some good players.
That's incorrect. So, I'll give it out at the end of the show. So, Tate Martell watch. What was that? So Tate Martell is officially transferring to UNLV. I called it. So I don't really have anything else to say to it. Good for him.
I mean, what do you think of it? What do you think of the transfer? Is it going to be a good situation for him? Will he go back to being on top?
He was never on top, but I mean,
I just remember him from QB1 and being a complete jerk.
Yeah, he was. He tried to be Johnny Manziel like 5 years later, and it just like didn't work because he actually just wasn't good. All right, so let's get into some headlines. So obviously, Team USA lost, I think, last Friday or Saturday. I don't know. To France, 83-76. Like I said, France, it's not as bad as it looks because France is pretty good when it comes to the national level teams. But when you have 10 All-Stars on your team, you shouldn't be losing.
It shouldn't be losing to Evan Fournier and Rudy Gobert.
Evan Fournier had like 28 points. He dominated them. I think their problem is Popovich shouldn't be coaching them. He's been horrible coaching them, and I hate doing this because I hate Coach K. But I mean, what Coach K did for all those years for the Team USA, for him to just Popovich to come in here and just lose basically every single game. I mean,
I kind of forgot that it was always Coach K and not Pop. I knew Pop was on the staff. I thought.
Yeah,
but I kind of forgot. Yeah, I kind of forgot it was really Coach K running things.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, obviously, if like the USA is the best team on paper here, so obviously, like if they make their shots, they should win. But I don't think they're going to make all their shots. I don't think a lot of these guys that are on this team want to be there. Like I can't imagine Drew Holiday, Devin Booker, or Chris Middleton want to be there.
I remember seeing all of the memes that they had to like take a 13-hour flight together after they just beat Devin Booker. I felt so bad. I was like, oh.
I don't know if they flew on the same plane together. I feel like Booker probably got his own private jet or something. I mean, no way do you want to, especially because they got on the plane after the parade.
Yeah.
So oh hey Devin, we just got super drunk at our championship parade. What have you been doing? Oh yeah, just sitting thinking about losing 4 straight. So yeah, I don't know what their basketball is going to do. It comes back to my whole thing with the NBA. Like I don't care to watch Damian Lillard and Kevin Durant and especially Draymond Green and Bradley Beal. Like I don't want to watch those guys. Like it should be like it should be. I mean, well, the fact that Trey Young didn't get called up or Christian Wood didn't get called up, it's just like Popovich sucks. They have no idea what they're doing, and like I said, like these guys just don't want to be there, and I don't necessarily blame them. But if that's the attitude, that's what it's going to be going forward. They need to either start taking college players or, I mean, I don't know, but it's embarrassing. They suck. I mean, they were up throughout most of that game, and then they just, I mean, they were up 6 with like under 2 minutes to play, and they ended up losing by 6. So they're a joke. I mean, clearly Kevin Durant and Damian Lillard aren't the guys we thought they were, or they aren't in the Olympics. I mean, you already saw it. I don't know how much of the game you watched. Every single time they thought they got fouled, they went to the refs. It's embarrassing. I mean, they suck. I mean, it's embarrassing.
It just shows how much of a joke the NBA is and how much of a joke the NBA refs are. Like,
I mean, I tweeted it during, I think, Game 6, but obviously it was a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek, but I think it actually plays. Like, I don't know how well Giannis would do in the Olympics with fewer refs, just because Giannis scores about half his points when he gets the ball in the paint and someone taps him, and the refs already have their whistle down their throat ready to blow it. So, and I do think he'd get fouled and he would get some calls, but not nearly as much as he has. And yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good. I'm hoping this is exactly like what happened in 2004 when they did win the bronze medal, where they're going to look at it, and then the next time this comes out, like that, they're going to actually like pick these young guys and the guys that want to play. Because I mean, Tim Legler and Stephen A. both. I mean, Stephen A. is kind of whatever, but they both had things to say about it, and it's right. It's just it's embarrassing that you have these NBA superstars that go over and they're playing in Japan and they can't beat Rudy Gobert and Evan Fournier. So.
Well, and it's embarrassing to show that they're just playing for fouls. That shows they're not playing to win. They're playing to look good and have a good stat line by trying to get a bunch of foul calls and free throws. You know, yeah. You got to be playing to win. You want your stat line to look good? Well, then do it the old-fashioned way, like Rucker Park version, no refs. Think about it like that. Like Kevin Durant, do something like that. It's embarrassing to me that they're just complaining, and what makes everyone look horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it is just funny though. I mean, in their loss to Australia in the exhibition, Patty Mills lit them up. Who, let's be honest, Patty Mills.
He's an Olympic superstar.
Yeah, he's like a capable starter, more likely like a coming off the bench backup point guard. And Evan Fournier, I mean, he had a bad year this year, and he was on the Celtics, but I mean, he's a starter in the NBA. Like, he's just a starter though. He's not like great. So it's just crazy. Like I said, I think a lot of it is to blame on Pop. I think it's a lot of these guys just don't want to be there, and honestly, I don't blame them for not wanting to be there. I mean, after all this, like, all of these like short breaks and everything like that, they don't want to be there. They don't want to be there, but then don't sign up for it. Like, yeah, give me someone who's actually going to play. So yeah, it's embarrassing. I thought throughout the whole like the prelims and the exhibitions, I thought they'd still win the gold. I don't think they're going to win the gold anymore. They're not going to. I mean, Drew Holiday led them in points versus France, and like he has to have dead legs. Like, and they also missed 5 wide open 3-pointers. Under a minute left. So I don't know what they're going to do. If they win, it would almost be better if they don't win gold, I think, just because it would show them they can't just keep doing this. But they might end up winning, or I don't know. But it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And then you look at Luka dropped 48 for Slovenia last night. I mean, clearly he's the best player on their team and pretty much the only player, but I don't know if the USA could stop Slovenia. I don't think they could. I can guarantee you that none of those guys on that team right now, maybe other than Draymond Green, I guess, they can't guard Luka. So I see no reason to believe that Team USA could beat Luka. So
I agree 100%. Like, on paper, they should be, because all you would have to do is neutralize Luka with someone like Kevin Durant scoring wise, because no one could cover Kevin Durant. But the way that this team is playing, 100%, there's no way they're going to beat Slovenia if Luka can keep playing like that.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll keep our eyes on it and keep updating it, obviously. But I mean, when the new, because I didn't, well, of course, because of the Olympics now, like everything's basically played at like 2 a.m. So I woke up and I saw that they had already lost. And I was just like shocked. I was like, oh my God. So yeah, they're bad. They know they're bad. And I don't know if they're going to do anything about it because I don't think they really care.
Yeah.
USA beat Jamaica in the Gold Cup quarterfinals last night, 1-0. It was ugly the whole way. They will face Qatar in the semifinals. The only reason Qatar's in this tournament is because Qatar Airways are sponsoring it. So I just really hope we don't lose to Qatar because that'd be bad.
That'd be horrible.
And then just the Olympics overall. I mean, the only thing I really saw was the gymnastics team didn't win the prelims, or Simone Biles didn't win it. I guess she's the whole team, so she didn't win. She got second, but to Russia, I don't know about that either.
Maybe we can try and find some sort of doping incident again.
Probably. I mean, it's our best bet. I don't even think, I don't know why.
Need to win something.
Yeah, right. All right, let's move on to, I don't know, probably the biggest news of, I don't know, past couple months. It looks like Oklahoma and Texas are going to join the SEC. I think the news broke on Thursday or Friday of last week, and it's a smart move. It's a smart move. It's a smart move from ESPN as well. Because the Longhorn Network had been failing, and it's an easy way to them just to absorb that into the SEC. I think the Big 12 ceases to exist. I think I already know. Well, the other part to this is I think the SEC is honestly trying to build a super conference, and I have it laid out there later, but everything is headed in the direction, in my opinion, is headed in the direction of the group of 5 teams and maybe just a select few of them, like maybe 25 or 30. They just become their own division in college football. I mean, that's what it looks like. I think that would be better. I honestly do. I mean, they can expand the field to 12. They can do all this stuff no matter what. In the NIL, it's great. Like now, like third string guys can go out and make money through their band or whatever. But the elite programs are going to be able to get the most money and the best players just because they can and they have the money to do it. I don't know. What did you think about it?
I think you made a really good point. When did we talk about it? Was it on Thursday? I think you made a really good point on Thursday about the Texas players not being happy with what was going on, because the Big 12 really was Big Texas, is how you phrased it. They did everything to help Texas. They did everything to make Texas relevant again. And there's a lot of history in the Big 12 that's now lost because of those two teams leaving specifically. So, what do I think about it? I mean, it's great that they're going to be playing better competition, I guess, and it's going to be more fun. But I don't think that they're ready for that or were ready for that, because they couldn't really compete in the Big 12.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma, if they, I mean, they can't do it, but if they transfer to the SEC this year, I think they'd be okay. I don't know if they'd win it, but they'd be okay. Texas has definitely some, I don't know,
catching up to do.
Catching up or just, fitting in to do. So, yeah, like I said, the SEC has also reached out to Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, and Clemson. So basically, I think what they're trying to do is get like a 20-team, 25-team super conference, and then that will lead to eventually them becoming their own division, per se. I don't love the idea of it, but I think it's the only fair way to do it going forward. I mean, kind of like I said with the NIL. The NIL is going to benefit the big schools more than it benefits any other small schools. But they could also not do that, and Ohio State could stay in the Big Ten. And reportedly, which, I mean, I don't know why the Big Ten does this. I mean, they did it with Rutgers too. They're going to take on Kansas for basketball. I mean, they'll be in the conference for football as well. I mean, they're terrible. It's weird. But they're basketball, so they could come to the Big Ten. And then Iowa State, I've heard, is probably also going to come to the Big Ten. And then I think the end game is you'll have the Big Ten, the SEC, the Pac-12, and maybe the ACC. I don't know. We'll see what they do. But yeah, it's just weird. I never saw this really coming. Apparently this has been going on for weeks. I don't know. It's crazy. I feel bad for Texas A&M. I do. They left at a smart time. They were able to make more money, and their whole pitch for recruiting is, yeah, we're in Texas, but we play SEC teams. Now they're going to get screwed. Listen to a couple podcasts from like Texas A&M fans. They aren't like saying it or openly saying it, but yeah, they're pissed. And I would be too, because it was their idea and they kind of stole it. But what are you going to do? So, all right.
Yeah.
This is not breaking news, I guess, but this morning, I guess it did come out that the Texans are willing to trade Deshaun Watson, which makes no sense. His stock has never been lower.
Yeah.
I'm almost like just, I don't know what to say. Like, it makes no sense.
First, they're like, we're never going to trade him. We're going to make sure that we keep offering him super contracts, and we're going to keep doing this, that, and for. Then all the news comes out, and they're like, we're gonna hold our cards here. We're not going to trade him even though his stock is low. You know, we're gonna see how this all plays out, because if it's nothing, we're going to keep him and hold on to him. Then it comes out that there really is a big issue, but he's going to be allowed to play this year. And with that information that it's a really big issue, teams are cooled off on him. Plus, it's later in the season. Most teams have figured out their quarterback situation. If not all teams have figured out their quarterback situation for the season. And now, after everything is said and done and everything's in the books, and we still don't know what the future holds for Deshaun Watson, they're like, yeah, let's trade him. What are they going to get for him? What do they hope to get for him? Because you're not getting anywhere close to a first or a good young player.
I think they'll get Aaron Rodgers. I think the Packers. If there's one team out there that would do this trade, I think it would be the Packers.
That would be the only team that, or one of two teams, I guess you could say, that I would truly think would do it, because swap one headache for another, because that's just a great idea.
Yeah. Once again, it just makes no sense why they're like, now let's put him on the market. Like, it makes no sense. I think he'll end up playing for the Texans. I don't think he'll have a great season. I don't think he'll have a bad season. I think he'll just be there. Because unfortunately for him, nothing on the field what he does this year, even if he puts up 50,000 yards, it doesn't matter until that case is, went through due process and everything. So it really doesn't matter. And I guess we can then now jump to Aaron Rodgers. I even have a hard time following this because Zach and all those guys are weird about it and like love Aaron Rodgers and hate the Packers. So I think I just get their opinions most of the time. But there's two things here. Obviously, for me, the Packers, they haven't done anything to help them out, and now it's even bigger issue with Devontae Adams. Which, I mean, if you're going to trade Aaron Rodgers, you might as well trade Devontae Adams because
go full rebuild. Yeah, because he's not resigning, so get something for him.
So, yeah, but I mean, I don't think he's going to play. I know there have been rumors all weekend or whatever. I think like on maybe Friday or Saturday, like a lot of books closed down, like the Aaron Rodgers betting, and then again I think yesterday they closed it down again because they're anticipating his decision. I think he retires. But I don't know. I take it back. I don't think he retires. I think he finds a way to play this year in Green Bay.
I I don't know, man. I truly feel that he's going to end up playing for Denver by the beginning of the season.
Like, the only reason I feel like he's going to play this year is he did his whole off. Like, there was an article the other day. He did like his whole off-season workout like for 6-7 weeks before you go into the season. So I think he's planning on playing. I just don't know where. I'll just say this, and I'd be fair. Like, it would be hilarious if Aaron Rodgers did play for the Packers this year and Devontae Adams was there, and then they did win the Super Bowl, and they just like straight up like bad talk, like just destroyed the ownership in the front office. That would be funny.
That's one thing that my dad has kind of gave me insight on throughout this whole situation. Aaron Rodgers could have expressed his frustrations after that NFC Championship loss and been complaining in the media all throughout, the spring before the draft, because people forget, and I sort of forgot until my dad brought it up. He didn't bring up the fact that he wanted to be traded until I think noon on draft day. Remember that? He brought it up on draft day because everyone was making the jokes like, oh, Aaron Rodgers needs to, steal away the day from these young guys or whatever. He brought up his trade comments on draft day. By then, teams have already started implementing the plans that they've had. They're not going to change it up on draft day where they're going to finish up and then start their plan. He could have been pursuing a trade all throughout free agency, because if he ended up landing with the Raiders are a team that I think a lot of NFL teams want to play for, except for the fact that they suck, because they're in a good location. They have a good fan base generally. And if Aaron Rodgers was there, they would be good. I feel like the Raiders could have brought in some real free agents. And then it didn't happen because of how late Aaron Rodgers disclosed that he wanted to be traded.
Yeah, I don't know if he went to the Raiders. I guess I don't know if he would have resigned there. I don't know. Like, I feel like Aaron Rodgers wants a coach that is just going to let him do whatever he wants, and John Gruden isn't that. So,
well, he gave 3 teams that he wanted to be traded to, and the Raiders were on that list because he said San Francisco, Denver, and Vegas.
The only one that makes sense there is Denver, because John Elway will let him do whatever he wants.
Well, and that's why they're the only ones that are still kind of in contention, because they're also I think that they are the only team that doesn't know their quarterback situation right now.
So we have some breaking news in. Not really breaking news. I don't know why ESPN threw this out there, but I guess it is. Oklahoma and Texas notified the Big 12 that they will not renew their media rights after the expiration in 2025. So that means they're definitely going to the SEC. It just will depend on when. I've heard as short as next season, but more likely 2023. Back to Aaron Rodgers.
I think Denver's the only team that does not have their quarterback situation figured out. Right. Except for obviously the Packers and the Texans, but that's because of extenuating circumstance.
Yeah, I don't know what he does, and I kind of over it at this point. I don't know what else to talk. I don't think he'll play for the Packers, but then he did his workout, so I'm like, I don't know. But the Instagram post that he put up too, him and Devontae Adams, one more or something
from the Last Dance, yeah.
So that means he's going to come back and play too.
Maybe.
The greatest thing that would come out of this is if Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers go do what they are in training camp to play the full season, and the Packers have just a shitty season. They go 7-10.
See, I think Aaron Rodgers is so much more spiteful than that he's going to put up a good season and then leave them with a bad draft pick after he's gone. Well, I think he could have another MVP type year just out of spite. Him and Devontae Adams.
I don't know. All right. So, big news in Cleveland this weekend.
Oh my God, this was horrible.
I don't want to hear you say anything about it.
I hated it, dude.
You know, the Cleveland baseball team changed their name to the Guardians. This had been thrown out there for a while. I knew about it, but it never gained traction. It seemed like when I first saw it and it wasn't the Spiders, I was shocked. I thought for sure they were going to go with the Spiders.
I thought the Spiders would have been a good name.
Apparently, they just don't want to associate it with a bad team because the Cleveland Spiders, when they first were here in Cleveland, they were horrible. So
I forgot they were the Cleveland Spiders. They really should have gone back to that.
yeah. So
man,
but the Guardians, I think they chose. This could sound stupid. I think they chose the Guardians because they had Indians and Guardians, and I think they were able to add in a better, like they were able to work with the logo. It's like the same thing. I really do.
Oh man, that's horrible.
I honestly think they did it. They were able to like just, I bet it came down to like 3 of them, and they're like, well, like when we want to brand our name and like make our logo, the Ians are like, kind of good. So,
oh no.
I mean, I've heard nothing. Like, this is complete conjecture. But it wouldn't surprise me in the least if that was what happened.
That's so unfortunate.
For anyone that cares or wants to know, the Guardians are these two. What are the things in like the churches? The animals that like stand up and over. There's a movie about it, like a cartoon movie.
I know what you're talking about.
Gargoyles or something.
Gargoyles. Yeah, the wing things.
Yeah. Basically, this is what the Guardians are. They're on 2 different sides of the not even Cleveland's most famous bridge, but whatever. And they're just like statues of these Guardians guiding them. And then, of course, the Dolans. Paul Dolan, just. I mean, incredible human being. God, I would love to see him burn. He just comes out. He's like, yeah, I never really studied them. And then like a week ago, I was like, oh, well, all right, we're going to go with it.
Yeah.
And he also came out and said that he had a revelation last summer that they needed to change the name soon because of all the social justice and unrest last summer.
Of course he did.
So, yeah, I mean.
Well, Justin, I have a question for you as someone from Cleveland. How does it feel to have your baseball team be named after an XFL team? Or a soccer team?
Who's the Guardians? Like, what soccer team is the Guardians?
I don't know if you know the Indy 11. They're like a not minor league USL team or whatever. But I just saw on ESPN Plus the other day they were playing some team that was the Guardians. But I know for a fact the New York Guardians in the XFL were there.
No, wasn't it the DC Guardians?
I thought it was the NY Guardians.
I don't think it was. I think it was DC. Honestly, I don't care. The baseball team stinks. Word has come out that if they got a good offer for Jose Ramirez, they would trade him. And that would be the last straw for me. I would officially I just wouldn't watch baseball ever again. Yeah. But they're terrible, so it really doesn't matter what the name is. So yeah.
It was the New York Guardians and the DC Defenders. I know that they're very easily confused.
Yeah, so I guess we were named after an XFL team. I guess a little bit better news regarding Cleveland. The Browns released the picture of their it's their 75th anniversary alternate jerseys. I actually really like them. I do. I'm not a huge fan of the numbers on the helmet, but I do like the stripes, and I can live with the numbers. Yeah, I like it. I don't mind it. They'll be able to wear it 3 times this year. So I'm sure it'll probably one versus the Steelers, maybe one versus the Ravens, and
the Bengals. Just play them when you're at home versus your division opponents.
Yeah, and then the NBA draft, everything like a month ago was so good, and now it's just all so bad. So
because it's slow. I haven't been seeing enough like news about the NBA draft.
no, well, I mean that's not really why. It's just that Jalen Green isn't going to be there, and we have to draft Evan Mobley, who
We
sucks.
have to draft Evan Mobley.
I can't even think. I can't even come up with articles to write about it anymore, just because Evan Mobley is Anthony Bennett.
Evan Mobley is Anthony Bennett, but bigger and slimmer. Love that.
All right, so now on to what we're really here for, the NFC North. Obviously a lot of stories. Justin Fields in Chicago. Obviously, we have absolutely no idea what will happen with the Packers. The Bears actually just did make a trade yesterday as well. They got Anthony Miller.
They traded away Anthony Miller for a pick. He was on their team.
No, well then, same thing. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. What do you guys say about the NFC North? Go ahead.
I mean, the Packers, if Aaron Rodgers plays, like I said, I could see him just having a great season again just because, and he doesn't have too many years left, so I do think he is going to end up playing. I don't think he's going to retire. But as of right now, since we don't know where Aaron Rodgers is going to land, I'm assuming Jordan Love is going to be the quarterback. So let me preface the little segment with that. I'm assuming, since he hasn't made a statement yet, that Jordan Love is the current starting quarterback. With that being said, if you're looking for rankings or how people are going to finish out, I'm going to assume that Chicago is going to win the most games and is going to finish in first. I know that a lot of people are saying, since the Vikings have consistently been number 2 behind the Packers for so long, they're going to slot into first. I see Chicago taking a massive jump from last season, which last season they made the playoffs anyway. So I feel like it's a 2-horse race between them all. But I think the Packers are not, with Jordan Love, it's not going to be a pretty season. So I think that, yeah.
Keep going for about 30 seconds. I got to go grab a pen.
Okay. So with Chicago taking the lead that I had mentioned, I think it's going to rely a lot on whether or not Khalil Mack can get back to being in top football shape. He basically makes or breaks the defense not makes or breaks. That's not a fair assessment. He is the deciding factor as to whether or not they're elite or just very good. There are numbers and statistics behind Khalil Mack that I do not have readily available to me right now, but the defense plays better when he is playing at his best, and that is without a doubt fact. So I think that Khalil Mack gets back on track, and that's the deciding factor that puts the Bears over the Vikings, in my opinion. That being said, the Vikings, I think, are the second best team this year in the NFC North, just because they are the most mediocre, consistent team, I think, in the league. They will always be relatively 500, maybe a little bit above, and make the playoffs and never give themselves a good draft pick, because Kirk Cousins is exactly that type of person.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Justin Fields. I mean, I think we both liked Fields coming out. I think I probably liked him a little bit more, just because I probably would have put him ahead of Zach Wilson. But I mean, that's all moot at this point. I think it's funny that we talk about Aaron Rodgers and everything, but it's very possible that like the Packers window is ending right now, and then the Bears one is opening up. I agree with you completely on Minnesota. They need to make a decision as a franchise if they want to just continue to be 8-8 or whatever, it would be 9-8 now, or they actually either want to start a rebuilding process or just go all for it. So you just can't sit. I mean, it's the absolute that's what, when the Browns were bad, it wasn't as bad. I mean, watching it and everything like that during the season, it sucked, but you knew they would get a top pick. The worst thing in the world for NBA teams and I guess NFL teams is just being in the middle of the pack and constantly being in the middle of the pack, because then every year you don't get that much better. Then you end up hanging on to guys too that you probably shouldn't have hung on to because they just make your football team mediocre.
Yeah. Well, and Kirk Cousins is never going to win a team a Super Bowl.
No.
The Vikings can improve the defense all they want to say, oh, Kirk can put up points, but it's the defense. The defense isn't the problem. I actually very much like the players that are on the Vikings defense. It's the problem starts at the head, and it's Kirk Cousins. And you can look at his primetime games record to tell you why they're not good. I think he's 1-9 in primetime games in his career or something like that.
And it is also odd enough. I know I was just talking about the Packers, but if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play, I think they finish last in the division, because I don't think Detroit has much, but at least they're going with something new and to Jared Goff and whoever.
That's a tough question. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about getting down to the bottom.
I mean, maybe not. I mean, the Lions are pretty bad, and they seem pretty bad. Maybe not. But it is funny that it does seem like this could be the real like tables turning in the NFC North. Hopefully, I'm not a Bears fan. I'm not a Packers fan, but any team that just annoys me like that is the Packers. So they just annoy me. Oh my God, I was just about to. Oh, so we're gonna pause about the NFC North thing, and we need to discuss something very serious. I really like Tom Brady.
Oh yeah.
Like the video yesterday, I clearly was fake or whatever it was, but I really, really like him. He's funny now. I think we talked about it before, but the video of him throwing to 3 kids and calling them all Julian Edelman and Wes Welker and Danny Amendola. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
I should have written this down earlier because we probably should have went over it in the beginning. But yeah, after that yesterday, I was like, I think I just like him.
I'm so pissed off because I've hated this man for 20 years of my life as I watched him consistently murder the Jets, murder my playoff chances, make me cry with a game-ending touchdown. And here I am actually laughing at some of the crap that he puts on social media. I genuinely enjoy Tampa Tom, and I hate that I have to admit that.
Ever since they won the Super Bowl in that parade the next day when Brady was hammered.
A little avocado tequila.
Yeah, I mean, his persona and popularity has just skyrocketed. Yeah, it's sad. But it also just shows you how shitty of a place Boston is.
I was going to say, imagine the NFL. Tom Brady should have been the face of football and probably was the face of football because he's the best ever. But they missed out on so many marketing opportunities because he was in New England, and Bill Belichick just hates life and hates everyone in it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be this is going to be our new go-to. Whenever we think Tom Brady's funny or did something funny, we're just going to somehow turn it around and blame it on the city of Boston and the Patriots and Bill Belichick. So,
but in all honesty, it's true. Tom Brady could have been the most marketable athlete for 20 years while he was with New England. And Bill Belichick's grumpy, little thing that he does made it so that no one really knew the real Tom Brady. They only knew Boston Tom.
This is kind of interesting, I think. Yes, I do. The NFL really missed out on their golden boy simply because his wife was richer than him. And better career wise, honestly, if you think about it, especially once you get to your late 20s and 30s as a professional player, you're just thinking about money. You're thinking about the end, the retirement, and everything like that. Had Tom Brady been single or anything like that, looking or whatever, I mean, they would have made so much money off of him, just in commercials and everything like that. But then they got unlucky, and Tom Brady wasn't even the richest person in his house. And so he doesn't have to go do all these deals. He can literally just play football. Like, we all talk about how Tom Brady was picked in the 6th round, and you know what? That's it. Like, and he's been great, and that's awesome. But the Patriots got so lucky that he married Gisele Bündchen, and because he was able to take less money constantly, and I like I said, this isn't fair, but like, he probably is just a good human being, so he does that. So they got lucky with that, but they really did get lucky that the best quarterback in the history of the NFL was
consistently taking pay cuts.
Yeah. So,
well, you heard it here. You heard it here. We are sad to say Tom Brady is a good human being.
I watched the video yesterday, and I was just like, I
laughed.
I almost
texted
texted you.
I was like, "You kidding me?"
I almost texted you. I was like, I think I'm fully I'm Darth Vader. I'm fully on the dark side now. Like,
I feel like, yeah, because I think it's like Darth Vader at the end, where he was like not a bad guy anymore. He just was that image, Tom Brady. I don't know.
You really know your Star Wars.
I know enough. That's about it. That's like the extent of how much I know about it.
All right. So let's hit over-unders, and then we'll get into like the standings and everything.
Yeah, over-unders, standings, breakouts, stuff like that.
All right. So I got the Packers. You know what? I wonder if there's changed. Hold on.
Probably. Start with a different team then while you look that up.
Vikings 8.5.
8.5. I mean, based playing schedule. Let's see. I would assume it'll be over, but I have to actually look at the schedule. So the first 3 we agree are preseason games. So they open up versus the Bengals, which is nice. I'm going to go over. I think they have a relatively weak schedule.
Okay, I got to pull up their schedule. Hold on. Just so you know, the new Packers one is 9. But let me get to the Minnesota Vikings.
Hi, it's Jordan Love.
Okay, that's 1, 2. I hate this 1, 2. I'm gonna go under.
With the Viking schedule?
Yeah. Who do you see them beating? Counting backwards, going backwards, they have the Bears, Packers, Rams, 16, 17, and 18. And then 15, 14, 13, they have the Lions, Pittsburgh, and the Bears again. I mean, they'll be
I
beat the Lions.
I have the Bengals as a dub. I have them picking up 2 wins on the Lions, picking up a win on the Panthers, excuse me. I have them beating the 49ers because I think Jimmy G or Trey Lance will be quarterback, and it'll be a train wreck. I'm splitting with the Bears, which makes 6. And then splitting with the Packers is also 7. And then you said it's 9, didn't you?
The Packers. It's 9. 8.5.
Oh, then I thought we were doing the Vikings. What's the Vikings number?
Yeah, we are doing Vikings.
What's the Vikings number?
8.5. Packers is 9.
Oh, I had them at 8. Whoops.
Yeah, it's 8.5.
Well, I also could see them beating the Cowboys. Was the other game that I was like, okay, I could go over with that. I could see them beating the Cowboys solely because either the Cowboys are going to be a train wreck or Kirk Cousins will pull some BS in one game that they shouldn't win, where he'll get like a fourth quarter 3 touchdown pass thing. So it could be the Vikings, could be the Seahawks, it could be the Cowboys, could be the Seahawks, could be the Rams for all we know. I doubt it, but it could. Could be the Steelers. Like he'll have one or two games where they'll win where because of his like fourth quarter play and his his stat padding. So I'll go over because if I got to 8 with just games that I think they'll win, I think they'll go over.
Okay. So we're at the Packers now. So it's at 9 right now. That was from July 5th. So I don't know if it's changed, but we're just going to go with 9 because I think if Rodgers retires, I think it drops to like 7 probably. And if he doesn't, it probably goes up to 11. He plays for them, so it's kind of in the middle. So we'll go with 9.
So New Orleans is an interesting game for Week 1 because I don't think New Orleans is going to have have everything together until midway through the season. You know what I mean? Like, the quarterback controversy and everything. So, like, that's one where I would assume if Jameis Winston, if they played like later in the season and Jameis Winston was like on his game playing with everyone, I feel like that would be one that I would put them down as a loss for. But even with Jordan Love at the quarterback position, I think that New Orleans will be just kind of a train wreck. So I could even see Jordan Love winning that game.
I mean, we didn't talk about this at all, but I mean, Michael Thomas is going to miss. They say he can miss like 12 weeks after the surgery as well.
Yeah, and he had it. Why didn't he have it after the playoff loss? Why did he wait until June or July to get this surgery? Do we know?
I don't know.
Let's see.
But he. Yeah, so he's not going to play. I can't find out anything. He's not going to play for the first couple of weeks, which basically means to me then there's really no point in Jameis Winston starting for them. I think they'll go straight up with Taysom Hill. I think they'll look a lot like the Eagles did at the end of last year. But so with the Packers at 9.
Yeah, I'm doing my little count here in my head. I'm sweeping Detroit, splitting with the other 2. Gets them to 4 wins. Beat New Orleans, beat San Francisco, probably beat Cincinnati. I'm going to go under with the 9.5. They have a tough schedule because they came in first place. So they have to play Kansas City. They have to play the Rams. They have to play Washington, which is a very difficult one. So I'm going under with the Packers at that 9.5.
I am as well. I mean, their first couple of games, I mean, they should –
They should have some tune-up games.
They could start out 5-0.
I don't know if they beat Pittsburgh, but 4-1 still no start to slouch yet.
You rip Pittsburgh more than I do.
I know.
I don't know why.
For their long-term future, I don't think that. Well, they have had a lot of movement. I don't know. I think Pittsburgh will still put up points on the Packers defense, and if Jordan Love's the quarterback, then they're not hanging.
All right, on to the Bears.
Bears.
7.5.
I mean, I see them splitting with the Packers and Vikings, probably sweeping the Lions. I think the Lions get swept in their division. Unless Jordan Love's the quarterback, maybe they'll split a game with the Packers then, but I doubt it. Wow, the Bears have a difficult schedule. What position did the Bears finish in? Didn't they finish 3rd? They snuck into the playoffs as the 3rd best team in the NFC North.
Did the Vikings make the playoffs?
Yeah.
They must have snuck in with it. They must have snuck in then.
I'm pulling up because I'm just curious. NFC. Oh, no, the Bears were 2. I guess the Vikings did make the playoffs. Oh, they were. Yeah. Okay, I remember. I'm bugging. Yeah. So 2nd place schedule for them. That's a tough schedule. I mean, probably lose to the Rams week 1. Cincinnati sweep Detroit. That Las Vegas game is going to be interesting, I think, in week 5. Oh, they have to play Tampa. What was the over-under? I missed it.
Bears 7.5. I'm going over.
I'm going over as well. Their second half is a little bit easier than the beginning, but I'm going over with that. Just because
7.5. I feel like they can get that pretty easily. And then the Lions tied for the worst.
Tied.
Yeah, 5.
Oh, who's the other team that's tied for 5?
Oh, I just did that.
It was probably the Jets, to be honest.
No, it wasn't. It was. I don't know.
I see maybe one game that the Lions will win. Probably will be more. But as of right now on paper, I give them 2 wins. So I'm going under whatever the under is for them. I think you said 5.
Yeah, it's 5.
I'm going under, but I'm looking to see if they'll even break 3. Because I think they can beat Philadelphia. And depending on the quarterback situation and in how healthy people are,
Texans
beat Denver.
Texans are the team.
Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, I see them winning 2 games maybe, and then I'm trying to look for a third that they can win, because I really do think they're getting swept by their division. I think everyone will beat the Lions, even though they usually split 1 game with the Bears or 1 game with the Vikings or something like that. I think that this year they have nothing going for them, and their defense somehow got worse because they lost players.
Yeah, I'm going under as well.
I think Atlanta will be the game that will make or break them getting 3 wins.
All right, you went under, you said?
Yeah.
All right, so I think the only one we disagreed on so far is the Vikings, and that includes the AFC North, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Hold on. Let me get back to that. All right. We'll do. All right. Breakout player
for each team.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'll start with the.
You do one, then I'll do a team, then you do another team. I'll do another team.
Okay.
You can start though.
I will take the. Are we doing just a breakout, or are we doing a breakout and a sleeper? Like someone who come on. I'm gonna do a breakout and a sleeper because I feel like I'm gonna take the Vikings for that reason. Their breakout player, I think. Who did they draft in the first round?
The Vikings?
Yeah.
Didn't they get Elijah Vera-Tucker?
No, they traded down because the Jets got him. Oh, they got that. They got not Rashawn Slater, the Christian Darrisaw.
Okay.
Breakout player. I mean, I guess my breakout player and my sleeper will be the same thing because I think by the end of the season, and you and I have discussed this a lot, I think that Kellen Mond could come onto the scene by the end of the season. So if there's one guy that no one is expecting to break out from the Vikings, it's Kellen Mond, and I think he could do it, whether it's due to a Kirk Cousins injury or poor play on his part.
Okay. Hold on 1 second.
Let's see. We got Christian Darrisaw.
All right. I'll go with a breakout player. I'm going to go with DeAndre Swift. For the Lions. I think he has a damn good year. Even though they suck, but he's a good player. And then I was going to say something, but I forgot about what I was going to say. That's it. That's all I got for the Lions. I got DeAndre Swift. I have another name, but I can't remember what it was for. All right, so go on.
I mean, I'll take Green Bay, and I think that this might be the year that we see A.J. Dillon take over the Jamal Williams role, because Jamal Williams signed with the Lions to play back up to DeAndre Swift. And A.J. Dillon had some touches last year. They brought him in after they signed Aaron Jones to a huge contract, which I don't understand why you're drafting a running back after signing Aaron Jones unless I think didn't they draft AJ Dillon in the same year that they drafted Jordan Love, and that was the idea they were gonna phase out Rodgers and Jones together because their contracts were up at the same time, so they were gonna just phase So I think this might be the year that we start to see a little bit more of AJ Dillon, seeing more out of the backfield. So he'll be the guy to watch for me for the Packers because I don't love any of their draft picks.
The other guy I was thinking about for kind of breakout, but also I don't know, just most improved. I think Jeff Okudah actually has a decent season. I think he's too athletic to not like. I don't think he'll ever be in like near the top tier or really the middle, but I think he has a better season. He's just too good not to have any confidence or anything like that. And then you took the Packers. All right, the Bears. Obviously, Justin Fields.
Yeah, there's only one answer.
I guess I'll ask you. Do you think he should start right out of the gate?
No, I don't. And honestly, it's because of the interviews and the shows that I've heard from my buddy John Zagul over at Talk Sports Chicago, I think it is. His show. He brings on a bunch of analysts and a bunch of officials and everything and asks them basically, should Justin Fields start week 1? And just to hear all of their opinions on it, to hear his own opinion on it, I think they have to let him develop a little bit because you're not trying to destroy him by just throwing him in there. I mean, we saw what happened with David Carr. I always mix the two up, so I had to make sure I was right. David Carr. I don't see them starting in week 1. I think they're going to let him ease into it and take over when he's fully ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think they should start him. I see no reason not to. I think in the end of it, I mean, I can see them going like 4 games with Dalton first, but at some point you need to see what you got, and it's not necessarily like Chicago is this like terrible dumpster fire. They're not good, but they're not the Lions. So
right. Well, and I'm not saying don't start him by week 5. I think he will start sometime around week 5. I'm going to pull up their schedule again because I do think that they have a string of games that's perfect for him to come in and start working on playing against in like real-time systems. I was looking at it. You don't want to play in week 1 versus the Rams because their defense is going to be great and it's week 1, so everything's kind of crazy. Then you have Cincinnati, Cleveland's a hard game, Detroit, Las Vegas, Green Bay. I think he can play at the end of that Cleveland game, all of the Detroit game, and then all of the Vegas game as his like little training session before he has to go play Green Bay, Tampa Bay, San Francisco, Pittsburgh before his bye. I mean, that's just a killer string of defenses right there. You're going up against 4 of the top 6 defenses in the league.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Remind me to bring up Madden before we finish.
Madden. They released their player rankings, right?
Did they? I don't know if they released all of them.
Well, I have here from ESPN that they, or at least went through the wide receivers.
Yeah, I know. That's what. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, but yeah, those are the string, and that's the string of games I think that they'll try and start him, or they'll play him after the bye so that he doesn't have to play those defenses.
All right. All right. All right. Let's nail out the predicted order of finish. I like the Bears to win, and I think they go 10-7.
I also have the Bears. I had them, I think, around the same. I think maybe I said 11-6 or something like that. 10-7 sounds about right, though.
Yeah. All right. Who do you have second?
The Vikings at one game above 500, whatever that may be. What is that?
9-8.
9-8. Yeah, that.
I'm gonna go Packers.
You think Rodgers is playing?
I do. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know. Well, if Rodgers is playing, we're probably both wrong in the fact that the Bears probably aren't going to win the division.
Yeah, probably. Look, I'm under the assumption he's not playing until he releases the statement that he's going to play. So I think it's going to be Jordan Love as of right now.
All right, and then so I have. Oh, I don't have Vikings. I have Packers. And then I will have the Vikings as my third. I assume you'll have
the Packers as my third.
I think the Vikings will go 7-10. What do you think, the Packers?
I had them as 7-10, 6-11.
All right, and then the Lions.
2-15. That's my record.
I'll go 3-14.
I said it's going to be 2 or 3, depending on that Atlanta game, because they could beat the Eagles and they could beat the Raiders.
All right, so we got 2 conferences out of the way. Just to go over them, over unders. Packers are at 9. That's the latest we had. We don't know if that. Well, it's probably without Rodgers, but who knows? We both took the under at 9. Lions 5. We both took the under as well. That is bad, man. That is bad. The Bears 7.5. We both took the over, and then I'm pretty sure, like I said, the only one we've disagreed on so far, I believe, is the Vikings at 8.5 because I had under, you have over. I'm looking.
Wait, what did I have him in my prediction? Because I feel like I said less than 8.
Who?
The Vikings. We just did the prediction. I think I said less than 8. Oh no, I think
you have the Vikings second. You have the Vikings second. You said 9.
Yeah, 9-8. Yeah. See, okay, I was right.
Yeah, this is the first one we've this is the first one we've disagreed on. Yeah.
I just think Kirk's gonna pull some BS out of his butt.
Just like Fitzpatrick will win a game from the football team just
it's
through
magic, baby.
Yeah. So, but on to the Madden ratings. Yeah, it's looking like they only have the receivers out right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, how is everyone in the league basically over a 90? Like, I very much don't like some of these ratings.
I'm pulling them up right now. I gotta tell you, I don't like Davante Adams being 99.
Wow. I think he should be a 99, but having like D-Hop not a 99, like, yeah. Having D-Hop be the same ranking as Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill being a 98 overall, I hate that. Like, and he does deserve the 99 speed rating, but having him be a 98 overall, like, I don't like Tyreek Hill in general. That's why I never take him when I'm doing fantasy. Like, I absolutely despise Tyreek Hill.
Stephon Diggs is number 1 for me.
I think he should be a 98.
I would go Stephon Diggs 99, Hopkins 98, Adams 98, and then Hill probably like 96.
See, I
think Julio Jones is way too high. 95?
No, that's around maybe 93 at minimum, like bare minimum, but Julio is, like, talent-wise, one of the best receivers in the league. I don't see Madden always has this thing where they have a problem giving 2 players at the same position other than like quarterback 99 overall. Receivers one where I have no issue with it because there are so many receivers and everyone has a different play style and game. Like Davante Adams and D-Hop should both be 99s. You can even argue Stephon Diggs should be a 99 in there too. But Tyreek Hill at 98 overall, like that is way too high because all he does is run a straight line down the field and then let Patrick Mahomes put the ball right in his hands.
Yeah, after you get past Julio Jones, I'm not really in love with any of these receivers. I don't love Michael
Yeah,
Thomas.
Thomas should be down at 92-ish after
Yeah,
that season last year with
I
his
don't know much
injuries.
about Keenan Allen. Amari Cooper, I don't know. I
That's
always
fair.
think Mike Evans is underrated. I mean, just because he's so big, I would have put him at like a 93. But he is getting older. And Allen Robinson is 90. I think that's it.
I think the bottom of the list is really good. Other than Michael Thomas, I think he should be lower. Keenan Allen, I think he moved up 2 points, so he was a 91 last year. I mean, he had a decent season with Justin Herbert, but I think all of those guys at the bottom have like good spots. The only issue I really have is with Tyreek Hill and DeAndre Hopkins. I think Diop should be a 99, and Tyreek Hill could be like a 93 in my book or a 94. Like,
I
just
agree with you
don't.
on Tyreek Hill. I'm not a fan of drafting him.
I hate him.
I will say, I'm a little bit surprised DK Metcalf isn't in there.
Yeah, and not in the top 10. I wonder what his rating is. Do they
His might be
recommend-
90, and it just didn't show up in the top 10.
Odell
But I feel
Beckham
like he
fell
was
out of the
89.
top
I
10.
feel like he was ranked 89 last year.
Yeah. Well, they don't even mention his name in here. I'm surprised as well. I feel like they would have made him at least a 92, just because like he's a big body like that and everyone loves him. Anyway,
Yeah. Did you know he started out as a 79 last year?
I did actually. I saw that, and then
I didn't think it was 79. I knew it was low. I didn't think it was 79.
it's because he didn't have like a great first year. Yeah. Wait, I wonder what Justin Jefferson's is. You think they gave him like an 87, 88? You think like they went that high on one good season?
Yeah.
I feel like they could have, and I think that might be something
I feel
have
like
a problem
I
with.
feel like I feel like Godwin's gonna go down.
That one went down, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, all right. That's gonna do it today. So NFC North, we both like the Bears to win. So hopefully, anyone from Chicago, if you're listening, that's great. We love Chicago and the Bears.
My two roommates are from Chicago.
See, I see what you're doing. Then I got it. Like I said, USA plays Qatar on Thursday night. Please don't lose. NBA draft this week on Thursday, I believe. Wow, so I have a big Thursday ahead of me. Watching Team USA in the draft.
Gonna have two screens.
Not excited for the draft. I probably will be doing a live stream with my King James gospel crew. So
nice.
Definitely tune in on that. What'd you say?
I said nice.
Yeah, and I mean they're gonna draft Owen Mobley, and I'm gonna be depressed for a while, so it's gonna be really fun.
See, but you gotta start thinking ahead now. When you see his name up on the screen, you have to start thinking about what item in your room/house you're going to throw at the wall.
Try my phone again. I've broken that thing like 75 times. No, I'm coming around a little bit on Mobley. I still don't want him. I still would take Kuminga or Jalen Suggs over him, but it seems like it's what's going to happen. So, whatever. I was so much more excited about the NBA like 2 months ago than I am right now. It's sad. And then football season is right around the corner. Did you talk to your buddy?
I did. I'm still trying to work out a good time for him.
Yeah, no worries. So hopefully we will have a couple of guests on. I'm going to try and get Craig Haley. He's the guy that does Athlon FCS because obviously we have to do a little bit of preview of the FCS just because I have been covering it for a year somehow. So Craig Haley does his official rankings. He does them for Athlon, writes for Athlon. I'll probably try and get him on. I was going to get Zach Meisel on, but there's nothing to do. I don't want to talk about the baseball team at all.
I think you mean the Guardians.
No, the baseball team. Honestly, if they just would have named it the baseball team, it's better than the Guardians. So
it should have just been the Spiders.
I agree. I agree. I agree.
Change the name, change the persona around the team. Isn't that what athletes want to do? Make a change.
I don't
Anyway,
know. Well, that'll do it for us today. We'll be back at you later this week, Wednesday or Thursday. We'll let you know. But any last words, Tom?
let's go dogs, man. You already know.